Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, and that means it's time for me to let you guys know about the games I've been playing during the week, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the games, whether I think you guys should check them out or not. Of course, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and your opinions on the games I shared with you today. Let me know if you've played them before, maybe there's something you liked about them, maybe there's something you didn't like about them. I'd also like to hear about the games you guys are currently playing, as that gives me ideas of new games to check out and play. And if you guys have a suggestion on a game you think I would enjoy playing, let me know. I'm always looking for new suggestions and new games to check out and play. So, this week I got two games to share with you guys. Both I've been playing on my Xbox Series X, as I've just been absolutely addicted to my Xbox Series X this year. Been playing so many fantastic games on it. Now, this first one is one I'm continuing from last week, and that is the game called Vampire. This was created by Don't Nod Entertainment, and was published by Focus Home Interactive. This is a really awesome third-person action RPG where you get to play as a vampire. And I'll read you guys some stuff from the back. Cursed be the choice. London, 1918. You are a newly turned vampire, Dr. Jonathan Reed. As a doctor, you must find a cure to save the city's flu-ravished citizens. As a vampire, you are cursed to feed on those you vowed to heal. Will you embrace the monster within? Survive and fight against vampire hunters, undead skulls, and other supernatural creatures. Use your unholy powers to delve into and manipulate the lives of those around you. Struggle to live with your decisions. Your actions will save or doom London. Become the savior or the stalker. A web of interconnected citizens reacts to your decision. Fight and manipulate with supernatural abilities. So let's take a look at Vampire. Hey guys, we're taking another look at the game Vampire. This is a really awesome third-person action RPG where you get to play as a vampire. There's not too many vampire RPGs out there that I know. This came out in 2018, and it is a really fascinating game. I've had a lot of fun with this. I've played it off and on since 2018, but this year I finally decided to sit down and fully beat this game, as I'm a little over halfway done with the overall story. And I've been having a blast with it. So let's get it started here. So the basic story of Vampire is you play as the main character, Dr. Jonathan Reed. He has just come back to London from fighting in World War I, and the world is being ravished right now by the Spanish flu. And on his very first night back, he gets attacked by a vampire and then wakes up and is now a vampire. And now his whole world has been flipped upside down because he's a vampire. He's just discovering this whole world about vampires. He knows nothing of what this world was like. And now he has to figure out being a doctor with also being a vampire. So it's really cool because you have moral choices to make in this game. As a doctor, you know you swore an oath to never hurt anybody and to cure them. But as a vampire, you know you have a craving and a thirst for blood and mayhem, and you want to kill people. So there's some really interesting mechanics in this game and choices because you're a doctor and a vampire at the same time. It has a pretty decent map. It's not massive or anything, but it is pretty detailed. It's broke up in different areas. You have a West End, you have the North Docks, the Docks, Western Docks, you have Southwark, you have the hospital, and then you have the Whitechapel area. And it is pretty dense with stuff to do. You have the main overall story, but there are side quests and stuff that you can take on from the various characters in the world. And it has a really compelling story, really keeps you wanting to play and find out what's going on in the world. The music is also phenomenal. The great game that has a soundtrack that you can actually digitally get. Really love the soundtrack. The graphics too are done really well. I've been playing it here on my Xbox Series X. Now it's not like super enhanced for the Series X, but it does support HDR. You have the game broken up into chapters, so there is the overall main story you can play through, but there are side missions. And I will warn you, though, that I would recommend looking up a guide for this game if you want to do everything in your first playthrough, as some quests can be voided out if you progress the main story too far. The game does have this citizens menu, as this game has a unique thing when it comes to the RPG elements, as you earn XP by doing missions, you earn XP by healing people, you can earn XP by killing things, but one of the big things about this game is you can actually embrace various NPCs in the world. You kill them, drain them of their blood, but you can take their XP, and some are worth more, like this Charlotte is worth 5,000 XP, where this guy is only worth 1,000 XP, this guy's worth 4,250 XP. And so depending on their blood quality, you'll get more XP for killing them. But there are consequences to doing this, as it will have repercussions in the game's world by killing off these people. You also can improve their blood quality by learning hints, and you learn this in various ways by doing stealth stuff or talking to other characters. You can actually get voided out of XP for them by saying the wrong thing when you interact with characters, which is really cool. But you have an overall health status of the certain area you're in. You have sanitized, healthy, stable, serious, critical, and hostile. So you have to balance that. As the more people you kill off in the area, the worse that the sector's health is going to be, and it's going to keep going down. And as a result, the area becomes more dangerous, more monsters and stuff come out that you have to fight various vampires and vampire hunters and other creatures that are out there. So you can see some I have completely sanitized. And this changes to the different nights you have, and you have to rest to level up, and then a new night will come on. And what's also interesting too about this game is with the doctor aspect is certain characters in the world will come down sick with something, but as a doctor you can actually heal them, and by giving them medicine that you can craft, which is really cool. This menu keeps track of the various side quests available from the different characters. All the check marks are ones that I've completed, and there's a new one that I have found, so I'm working on doing all the side quests. You have an area that keeps track of all your collectibles, which I have almost all of them. I just got 4 more to get. You also have a variety of weapons too, is what I like. There's different one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, you have off-handed weapons, you also have firearms like shotguns and pistols, and they all have different damage to them and they're different levels, because you can actually find components to craft and upgrade your weapons, which is great. Then you also have various supplies here. You can craft your ammunition, health stuff, and then these are your various treatments that he can get for like headaches, migraines, bronchitis, pneumonia, colds, anemia, fatigue. And so you can use that to heal the various characters in the world, and by doing that you unlock XP and stuff. And then this is just your junk, which you find, which you can then sell for money, because there are merchants in the game. You can buy stuff, and then you have your various quest items, keys, and letters and stuff that you can then read, which you can learn clues about completing stories and stuff, and about characters. Here's the RPG area where you can see I'm level 26, and I have a mesmerized level of 4. The higher a mesmerized level is, the higher of characters that you can actually mesmerize to lure them somewhere so you can actually kill them and drain their blood, because they have stronger minds, so you have to level that up. So as you play the game, you know, you get a higher level, because some of the characters have a higher mind level and you need a higher level to attack them. This takes place of your basic stamina, your life, and your blood meter, and then you also have all these cool vampire powers that you can unlock as you play through the game, which is really sweet. And the way that you use your powers is actually fueled by blood, and you can refill that blood by attacking enemies or by finding it. It's kind of like your mana in other games is your blood meter, which is really cool. So out here, we'll see if we can find some people to fight. It does load pretty well on the Xbox Series X, Xbox One will be a little bit slower, but on the Series X here, it does have pretty good load times. Because it's loading a whole bunch of the world at once, so you don't have to worry about loading all the time, is what I really like. So you just get through this initial like load of the main world, and then you can enjoy not having to worry about loading as much. And that's something that I've really enjoyed. And every time you enter a new area, it'll tell you what the area is like as far as the health of the area, because the lower the health of the citizens, the crazier the amount of enemies will be out there. Because there are some safe areas in the different parts of the map, but between those areas, and you'll tell by the music will change, is where the creatures will be out, and then you can actually hear them. And there's also enemies that will fight each other too, which is great. And you can also find various collectibles around by things that are highlighted. Those are objects you can interact with. And it does have pretty good combat as well. Now, it's not the best combat in the world, but it is still pretty fun. So now we just gotta find somebody. So if you guys give me a moment, I'm gonna try to find somebody to battle. Alright, I found some vampire hunters that I can fight. What's cool too is Jonathan has a vampire mode where you can turn it on and you can see details about the various characters you'll encounter, whether they're good or bad, what level they are, and what their strengths and weaknesses are. So let's get into some combat here. Now I am pretty higher level than these guys, so my fight should be pretty quick here.
It ain't human. Filthy piece of shit.
So as you play through the game, obviously, you'll encounter harder and harder enemies, and that's where leveling up is key if you want to progress through the game. And that's where you have to decide if you want to kill people by embracing them, because you can level up a lot faster. Where I'm playing through as a pacifist run, so for me, it's going to be a lot more challenging because I won't earn as much XP, so I have to grind a lot more. And so some of these battles can be absolutely difficult with how little XP that you can earn by not embracing people. So you have to balance that out in your playthrough. But I like the challenge of not embracing anybody. And what's just cool too is the vampire creatures and stuff will fight with the vampire hunters. And use a healing item there because you don't want to die. And then enemies, if you defeat them, will sometimes drop supplies, which you can then use for crafting materials and stuff, which is great. So overall, I've had a lot of fun with this game. I'm looking forward to finally completing it, as I've gotten quite far in the game. And then the only other thing I want to show you guys is just the interaction of talking with the characters in the world, because that is a big part of the story. Now you guys can see that middle meter is my stamina meter. So in combat, when you're fighting, that meter can be depleted, and once it's completely defeated, you can be left defenseless. So you have to watch yourself in combat. So again, this meter shows you talking about their blood quality, if they're sick or not, what their level of mesmerize you would need to be able to lure them, and then you can actually interact with them.
I thought last summer's epidemic was difficult. Good evening, Milton. Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives.
And you do have a various little wheel here where you can unlock the hints, which I've unlocked for him, and then you can learn about stuff from him by talking to him through the dialogue wheel. And so you can learn stuff about characters and learn things about them and learn stuff about the story. You can also get quests this way by talking to them.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
What I really like too is that they picked really good voice actors for the game. Like the characters, the voices fit the characters, and there's a variety of them. So they did a really good job with that, and a good job with the music. This is definitely an RPG I will recommend you guys to check out and play. You can get it for a really good price. It's on PlayStation 4, it's on Xbox One, it plays on PlayStation 5 and the Series X. It's also on PC. However, I've heard there have been a lot of issues with the PC version. I don't know if they're have been ironed out. I know that the console versions had a lot of issues, but they have released patches since then, and I personally have not really encountered too many bugs or glitches with this game. And it's one I definitely think you guys should check out. I'm having a lot of fun here with Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoyed this look at it. I hope you guys enjoyed that look at Vampire. It's a really fun game that I've put a lot of time into. I've almost got like 50 hours into the game now. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I am looking forward to getting this game beat here pretty soon, as I've gotten a lot further along in the story. Really fun game. I definitely think you guys should check out. Now, the next one we're going to talk about here is one that I just received this week. Really interesting game, and it is called Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo. It's for the Xbox Series X and Xbox One. Really fascinating game. I believe this is also on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and the PC. I'll read you guys some stuff from the back. So, truth is sometimes worse than madness. Ed Miller survives a car accident where he believes his wife and their daughter died. However, no one was found inside the car wreckage. Explore your memories to find the truth. Discover a story about obsession, trauma, and manipulation. So this is a really cool story-driven narrative title where it plays like the Telltale games. You guys have played any of the Telltale games like The Walking Dead or Tales from the Borderland, anything like that, or the Batman one? That's what this game reminds me of. It's a really interesting game. So let's take a look at Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo. Hey guys, today we're taking a look at a game that I just received this week from Gamefly called Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo. Now this game is loosely based on Alfred Hitchcock's movies, specifically the Vertigo movie and a few others, just, you know, loosely based. But this is an adventure game. It has cel-shaded graphics, and it plays similar to games like Telltale games have created. If you guys have ever played those kind of games, you'll feel right at home with this game. The overall story is about this character called Ed Miller. He survives a car accident where he believes that his wife and their daughter died. However, they were not found in the car wreck, and he ends up having some psychological issues and starts suffering from vertigo, and eventually he starts getting help from a doctor to go through therapy and stuff, and you end up having to discover, you know, what's reality and what's fantasy and stuff in his mind. Another thing that's really fascinating about this game is you actually get to play as many different characters. You don't just play as Ed, you also play as his doctor, and you play as other characters that are all weaved together in the story, so you get different perspectives and stuff. And it's been a game that's really been keeping me captivated. I've played it for a few hours this week, and I've really been enjoying it, and it's one I think you guys would enjoy playing. So I'll read you guys some stuff from the back. It says, explore your memories to find the truth. Discover a story about obsession, trauma, and manipulation. So since this is a very heavily story-focused game, I won't show very much gameplay, as playing the whole game is a part of the experience. But I'll show you guys a little part here of where I am in the story. The game does also have pretty good music, and it's got pretty decent voice acting as well. Now, the graphics are obviously not going to be your top tier 4K graphics, but they are on level with games like the Telltale games as far as graphically go.
flags. Now we've got 'em. Heave ho! Flanagan, be hooked. It's not in your cabin, Captain Roberts. Blame me, Flanagan. I can't board that ship without me hook. I think it's back on School Island, Captain. You better bring it to me soon, unless you want to end up as shark bait.
Bud, come to my office, please.
Okay, Dad. Flanagan, get all hands on deck. Aye, Captain. Governor Miller requires me present at the forecast to discuss highly important matters.
So in these kind of games, these adventure games and stuff, you know, you can freely move around the world with your character, and then there's various objects you can interact with. And right now I'm playing as a memory from Ed as a child. If you hold the right bumper button, you can actually see what your objectives are for this particular section. Now, another thing that's interesting about this game is that you go through and relive memories, and you make choices during those memories. Well, then a little bit later on in the game, you actually get to go back and analyze those same memories, and you can unlock other clues and stuff for it, because this game is you're trying to figure out what's reality and what is fantasy.
Step aside, me hearty Flanagan. We're approaching the jeer at the end of the world.
And so you also will come up with choices that you have to make during the story. And sometimes they are timed where you only have a few seconds to decide what you're going to do, which will then impact the story. Like here, it's asking me stay the course or veer.
Flanagan, take the helm. Or must I take care of everything?
And so it's interesting the different objects you can interact with and how those will influence the story. And then sometimes they'll have like so many objectives you have to complete, and there'll be secondary objectives that you can complete as well.
If I keep piling up treasures, relics, and talismans, I'll have to start sleeping on deck. Arr, I've got no Spanish dollars to buy me own island. One-of-a-kind article crafted by Richard Longfinger Evans, the best hatter on Skull Island. Wait a second, was me hook in me pack when I visited the hat shop?
So you get the idea of like how you control the game and the story. Like I said, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to ruin the story for you. The whole point of this game is to play through and experience the story yourself. I'll just say that make sure that when you are playing through that you walk around when you can freely and interact with anything you can, because the smallest thing could lead to a big clue for something. You don't want to miss anything. But it's a really fun game, so if you guys enjoy those really heavily story narrative driven kind of games, this is one I definitely think you guys should check out, and I'm looking forward to beating this over the next couple of weeks. This is just a little look at Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo. That was a look at the Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo game. Really interesting game. I'm really having fun going through the story and seeing the twists and stuff in it. Like I said, I didn't want to show too much in that gameplay clip, as I would hate to ruin the game. The whole point for you is to play through and enjoy the story. But what I really like is you get to play as multiple characters, and sometimes you get to play as more than one character in the same scene where they're talking to each other, and you can make choices and stuff on how you talk and what you analyze and stuff. Really interesting story that I definitely you guys should check it out. Little recap here. We talked about Vampire. It's a really awesome third-person action RPG. Been having a lot of fun with it. You get to play as a vampire. You know, there's parts where you have to struggle with being a vampire and being a doctor. You know, do you want to be good or do you want to be evil? Because you get to make a choice of whether you embrace and kill citizens, where you can then level up a lot faster and make yourself stronger, or do you resist those urges and you level up other ways like I'm doing, which makes it a lot more difficult of a game, but it will eventually affect the different ending that you get, because I do know the game has multiple endings. A really good RPG that you get to play as a vampire. You know, there's not too many vampire RPGs out there, so one I definitely would recommend. And then we talked about the Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo game, where this is a linear story-based adventure, but you get to go through a really interesting story trying to piece together what happened, you know, what is reality, what is fantasy. And it's a story that's been keeping me hooked in it, and it plays just like those games from Telltale. If you've played any of those, it plays just like it. You know, similar graphics style with the cel-shaded graphics. You know, you're not going to get the top-tier 4K graphics, best in the world, but these kind of games don't need it, as the main focal point is playing through the story. And it's one that I like because you get to play as multiple characters through the story. I've been having an enjoyment playing it. So let me know your guys' thoughts if you played either of these titles. I would love to know about the games you guys are playing, and if you have a suggestion on a game you think I should check out, let me know. You guys always do recommend really fun games. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.